Well, if you could hear that, I probably broke all kinds of copyright laws. Uh, so fun, fun, fun. I'm gonna unshare that window. I get myself excited about um, pump up the volume and uh, the way he started his show off. His pirate radio show, Pump Up the Volume, right here with Christian Slater. We started with that song, so this one's probably gonna get banned from all the platforms just because of that intro. Well, whatever. And today I'm managing to go live, I think, on Instagram finally. It's kind of a weird process to go live on Instagram, so I'm not excited about it. I might, because I gotta go in and I gotta get a code every time I want to go a different live on Instagram. It's kind of a pain in the ass. I think they're giving people the option to go live on Instagram, but at the same time, I think they just want you to go live natively with your phone. Go live while you're there. So, I don't know. This might actually be the first time I'm going live on Instagram, despite me thinking it did yesterday and the day before, and like since last week. Every live, I had to go in and get a new key, and then once I started to go live, then I had to click go live on Instagram. Anyway, my name is Ian Hopfe. I go by the hashtag IanTheHRPro. This is IanTheHRPro live podcast. I'm your host, of course, Ian Hopfe. I'm an Indigenous human resources consultant, and I do that stuff during the week, but on Fridays is fun and games. We talk about anything and everything really on today's show. We can talk board games, video games, books, music, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons. What else can we do? We can go collector cards. We could talk about popular culture, whatever you want to talk about. TV shows. Like today is the fun and games day, so we talk about everything. And I'm kind of on time today, so maybe some of my regular viewers might be a little late getting to the show. That's fine. At least I didn't see that disastrous intro. I really don't know if you could hear the YouTube video playing. Leonard Cohen's Everybody Knows song. I wish there was a better way for me to do that sort of stuff. Invite guests. What's this plus? I'm gonna click on some random plus symbol. Plus presentations, video storage, screen share, image, extra camera, local video. So if I had a video recorded, I could play it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a video, and anytime I need to go to the washroom, you'll get to watch that little video. I did set up a nifty screen design. Now, originally, it's called an overlay. So you can do stuff on the screen with this. So I can put this up. It says breaking news. I could do this one. Thank you for watching. No, we're still going. I could put this. It looks like a Ukrainian flag around the outside. And celebration, yay! and these wicked cool wavy lines. I love these. And zebra lines. Oh, they move also. Okay, that's wicked. And of course, sunglasses. We can do stars. Look at these cactus. I almost feel like I'm in a Super Mario game right here, right now, man. And storm cloud on me. Just general raining. So there's cool stuff I can do. I just made this, as I mentioned, this one. Be right back. Now I can go to the washroom and you know where I will be. But I'm going to... I mean, if I ever get a sponsor for the live podcast, then I can make a little commercial and you can watch me do the commercial for them. But until then, I'm going to put up my QR code for all my links. Indigenous relations links, human resources links. If you want to join up to Whatnot and start some social selling, go to my links. This link will take you to my link tree. Here's the link also down here. But it just takes you to my link tree and you can see everything that I got going, everything I usually talk about. It's in there. Yeah, so go check that out. But, oh yeah, it's Friday. Unquestions today. What I mean by unquestions are, let's not be serious today. That being said, if you got just a killer human resources question that you want to ask me that you need answered today on this Friday, October 10th, go ahead, ask it. Yeah. Oh, you just ruined the vibe. Otherwise, let's talk about board games. Board games. What are currently your favorite board games you got going on? Board the games. Oh, yeah, I can see for sure I'm live on Instagram. Maybe for the first time. Oh, my. So... but I'm pretty sure everything else is working just fine. And you know what? I remembered to switch it to 1080p today. I have to click on my show. So I've set up a show in Restream.io. I've set up a show for each day of the week. And it's themed and it's got its own color format. And in that show, I got show notes that I can write in. I can change the title. But I have to wait to get into the show before I change it to 1080p. Otherwise, it just automatics to 720p. That 720p is high definition, but 1080p is better. So that's great. You get to see all my imperfections and even close-up, beautiful views. What I'm hoping for is that when I do my shorts, my AI shorts, it takes me out like this. It gives me that portrait screen. I'm hoping that I'll look a little bit more clear because they look a little bit grainy. It's obvious that it's been zoomed in and clipped out from a bigger video. So I'm just trying to see what they look like. But I got to remember to do it. Just like I got to remember to get the streaming key for Instagram. I mean, for that fact alone, this may be my one and only show that I managed to stream on Instagram. Unless there's just a whole bunch of people who visit today from Instagram and start asking me all kinds of questions, unquestions. I want to talk about board games today. Board games. I want you to say something. Come on, people, chat. Come on, people, now. Smile all together and chat. Chat for me. Ask me your questions. Let's talk about board games. What's your favorite board game? Dead serious. What's your favorite board game right now? Preferably a new board game. If anyone says Monopoly, man, I'm just gonna shut down the live. Monopoly is such a I mean, it started wars in families, this Monopoly game. The original Monopoly game had a flip side, the landlord game, and it actually taught you to be a good landlord, not this capitalistic, take everybody's money type of landlord. So I want to see that board game. I want to get a copy of that if I can find it. I think that would be awesome. It makes me think of Cash Flow by Robert Kiyosaki. I have fun playing that game, and I played Cash Flow, the second one. Was it Cash Flow 101 and Cash Flow? Is it 102 or is it 201 or something? Anyway, it's like a second level, and it helps you do stocks. You learn how to do calls and stuff like that, right? And that's great, but at the same time, I don't know, it might teach bad habits about using credit to get rich or something like that. We know that if I buy a property, I can, after I've purchased it and everything's gone through, and say it's a rental property, I can use the income from the rental property as my income, part of my income for my business or whatever. So I get this proven monthly income, and now I've got an asset that I could borrow some money on too. So you use that, the bit of equity you have in the original property, and you use that as the down payment for the second property, and your income from the first property is added to your income, so it shows that you're higher income earner, right? So, but I don't know, we get into so much trouble with debt. Anyway, we're talking about games today. What the heck, Ian? Why'd you start talking about investing? I started talking about cash flow. It does teach you some cool stuff. It does help you budget and some good stuff like that. But I think you gotta take certain games with a grain of salt like that, right? So, but what's your favorite board game? Don't say Monopoly. Don't say Monopoly. My God. Let's get some fun board games out there. The hardest board game I've been told is what's the name of the board game? Dungeon Lords. Oh my, Dungeon Lords. Oh my God, I just need an image. I'm trying to show the image so you can see it. Images. Oh my God. All right. That just I'm looking. I'm trying to make just a large photo so you can see it. So we're just gonna open up the browser, and everybody's gonna see the browser. I'm gonna shrink that browser down. I don't want it that big. Anyway, the game is Dungeon Lords. It took me and my wife like 9 hours to run through one test of the game, just one test run, because we were we're really getting into board games with our friends, and we decided, well, they have all kinds of cool games. We're gonna go buy a new game, so we got Dungeon Lords. There's a close-up view. Can I see the game? I just wanna. Oh my god! Could not be loaded. Show me the image. Just, give me a full-size image here. Why would they say images and then not allow you to zoom in on the image? I just want the photo. My god. So what you're doing with this game is you're building a dungeon. You are actually the bad guy. You are the bad guy building your dungeon, but you're made out to be a good guy. You have all your monsters and you're working to build your dungeon, and then these evil heroes come along and they attack your dungeon at the end of each round, or say seasons they're called. At the end of each season, the evil heroes come attack your dungeon, and it's really fun. Oh my god. And it's kind of like a resource game. There's those evil heroes coming to attack. So you got these sections, and these are monsters you can hire to defend your dungeon. There was some pretty good stuff with Dungeon Lords. So you start off. I wish I could just see a close-up of the board. What's this? Can I press this button? That's what you do. Oh my god. Who's in charge of this? I don't know how to use this technology. I'm a big fat loser. Why did my screen go away? Oh my god, oh my god. Anyway, I don't know why we can't make this bigger. It's pathetic. Anyway, you can kind of see what's going on here. This is where the resources are that you're purchasing. These are the monsters you're purchasing. You can also purchase traps, and this is your rating here. If you become the most evil at the top, the paladin will also attack your dungeon with the heroes. So you got to be a good dungeon, so the paladin doesn't think you're the most evil. But it's you have your own individual board where you're building your dungeon on, and you take these turns and you get to get resources, and you have to use your little minions to choose the resources you want. You pick the spots on the board to get your resources. Sometimes you don't get the resources because other people will pick it, and then depending on the resources you're getting, you might purchase traps, or you might get gold, or you might get more little workers to help you build, and things like that. So it is actually really fun, but it took a long time for us to learn how to play the darn thing. And we found out later, you know, like, why didn't the person at the store tell us this? I feel like the game store we were in, the person at the store should have said, hey guys, this is a really difficult game to learn. So it depends on what you want. Like we didn't hear that. Maybe they told us. And maybe I didn't take them seriously. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Hard game to play. Yeah, right. So maybe it was my own damn fault. Anyway, we trained ourselves to play it, and then we taught our friends how to play it, and you know how it goes. You're the ones who purchased the game. You're the ones who are supposed to teach your friends how to play the game, right? So, a recent game I just played, and this was with the same friends, but our friend's oldest child is now, I think he's 15. So we played this Dungeon Lords game back when he was a baby. They would come over and they would bring him in the car seat and stuff, right? Now he's 15 and he's playing the games with us, and he's choosing games, and he is really into the strategy games. And I just love that he's into the games, but I bug him. I really razz him a lot. That's probably not a good thing for me, not a good show, right? What about this? No. What about this? No. What about this? No. What about this? Okay, let's go with that. I do like the bigger image myself because I'm so vain. So this is Arcs. This is the game he chose to play. And it is wicked cool. It's a spacefaring game. You're taking over sections of space, and they keep calling it a trick game. So I guess the trick is that you can take first place in the next round, stuff like that. So you're able to manipulate the game a little bit to allow you to go first next time. I think that's the trick when they talk about trick game. But you have five chapters. They call it 5 chapters. So this is 5 chapters in this space opera where you're taking over the galaxy. And let's do a bigger photo of that. Arcs, conflict and collapse in the Reach. Right? It is fun. I enjoyed it. And since playing with them, I think this was last Saturday, I watched a bunch of videos, of course, the online strategy guides and stuff like that. And the way I started playing it was kind of how any new player starts playing it, I guess. That's what they said. They just basically build a big fleet and start attacking the other fleets, and that's exactly what I was doing. And I was gaining just a few points from taking their ship's trophies after, at the end of the round, when I could. But there's so many more strategies that I could have been doing that I didn't. So I want to show a fairly good photo of play. Let's see if this one. I just can't believe these things are. Let's stop sharing this. And let's share this window. Okay, let's try to make the size better. I don't know, something like that. How does it look? You can kind of see what's going on. So you can see the chapters down here. Across the bottom of the board is where you're scoring your points. The only way you make points in this game is here. And you've got to declare these. Oh, I forgot what these are called. But you basically make points based on this thing. The warlord points I was getting was when I was attacking with my ships, attacking their ships, and I would take some of their ships captive and put them on my board over here, and I would get points for at the end of each chapter. So we point out at the end of each chapter, and you get those points. But you have cards in the game. You get a hand, and it's the same group of cards based on how many players, and they're just every chapter they're dealt out, and that's all you get for that chapter is the cards in your hand. And you play them here. The person who's got initiative or is in the lead gets to put their card here first, and then the other players go in here based on what's there. And there's a technique to do this. There's a process you have to do that, but you end up taking your actions based on those cards. But you can, if you've got stuff on your board, your individual play board, if you have resources and things. Oh, let's take that one caption out here. Yeah, let's make some more room. So, where was I? Let me make that bigger on my screen. So, based on what you have here, you can do a pre-turn, a prelude they call it. So you can have actions based on the resources you've already collected. And so you do those, you put your card. I don't know if you put your card down and then do your pre-turn, and then based on your card, you have a certain amount of actions you can do. Basically, it's very similar to what you're doing in your prelude based on your resources. But the idea is, you can see here, this is a this is exactly how we started playing. This is a 3-player startup, and I was these yellow guys. So I had a world over here, and this was a colony, and this was a star base. So I started off like this, and my friend and his son were these two characters here. It's interesting, that's the exact. So the idea is that you can build more colonies, and you have colonies here on your board, and you have star bases just off your board. And you can see this silver thing here down at the bottom. This means this person has the initiative. So he's the first person to put a card down. Well, so they've closed off, because it's only a 3-player game. They've closed off part of the board, so you're not using it. So when you move from here, you actually just move to here. So these are technically right next to each other because they're only one space away. Now you can't cross these rifts. So if you want to go from here to here, you'd have to come out here first and then cross around, right? This is considered like a gateway, high-speeded across the galaxy. And, right, so you're moving ships around. You're trying to get resources. Each colony has a potential resource beside it. So if you built a colony right here, there is a fuel barrel, and you can see the Tycoon fuel barrel here, and you can see there's a fuel barrel resource already on this card. So if you tax a colony that's there, you'll get a fuel barrel. And the different resources do different things, obviously. At the same time, there's called a court. So there are these specialty cards across here that you can influence and secure. So you have to influence first. You take one of your little guys here and you influence by putting it on there. And the card you're playing is allowing you to influence. Once you've influenced the card, then you can secure it. But that takes a different action, possibly a different card, or maybe using some of your resources. So and these special cards help you do all kinds of cool different things. So based on the cards you want to use, or based on your strategy, you want to get a card that matches your strategy. The problem is with this game is that each chapter you get dealt a different hand, and it completely forces you to basically change your strategy. And it's interesting because you were thinking, oh, by the third chapter I'm going to do this or that. Well, in the second chapter you don't get the card you need, so you can't do any of the stuff you had planned, right? So it's like every chapter is kind of this refresh. So you can only do certain things, you can plan for it, and but then you might not be able to do it. I mean, there is ways to do it and be creative when you're putting the cards down, right? Like there's the trick. You could put a second card down and take the initiative so you can be first next turn. So then you have a little more ability, because normally if you have a low numbered card, you get more actions. But in order for you to take the initiative, you have to put a high number card over here to take the initiative, but the high number cards give you less actions. And if your card doesn't match the first card that goes down, because there's different types of cards, each set of card has numbers from like 1 to 7 if you're playing like a 4 or 5 player game or whatever, right? I think it goes up to 4 player. They put more cards in. We were playing 3 player. The lowest card was 2, and the highest card was 6 in the same suit, so to speak. And in order for you to use all your actions, you have to use the same suit in order to take the full actions. If you don't have the same suit as the first card, you can only copy it, which allows you to do 1 action, or you can use your different suited card, but no matter how many actions it gives you, you only have 1 action. So it really slows you down if you don't have initiative and you don't have a similar card to the person that played the initiative. And to declare, what does it say there? Declare ambition. These are called ambitions up here. Tycoon, Tyrant, Warlord, Keeper, Empath. These are based on the stuff you have, and you're trying to score points, right? This is an ambition. So this little guy here. So if I put down a card that's a 6, in the lead, I can take this guy, put it on top of my card. It changes it from a 6 to a 0, and I declare an ambition. Now that means anyone else that puts a card down of the same suit can steal my initiative. So you take a risk by declaring an ambition to try to get some points. You risk that someone else is going to take the initiative next turn. So then you lose, essentially you lose control of the game. But your combinations of what resources you have, what cards you've secured that you know that now belongs to you, different things can happen, and it's very interesting. It's very intriguing, this game. So I really enjoyed playing it, and I hope I can play it again soon. So let's stop the screen sharing, get me back to full view. Hello, still waiting for some chat. I'm trying to talk board games today, but if you want to talk about anything else, books, other games, video games, I do enjoy video games. I have played video games for a long time. Obviously, you're not a Gen Xer or a millennial, Zennial, so that kind of in between from like 1977 to 1983. Though I think that's a Zennial with the X, right? So we're not millennials, we're not Gen Xers, we're in that zone. So, I mean, if you didn't get Nintendo fever in the late 80s, oh, are you really a gamer? I mean, the allure of playing stupid Mario Brothers, it's got to be one of the hardest games, because freaking Mario keeps slipping all over the place. And you try to stop, you're always, and then you try to go back the other way and you're, so it's a hard game to play. You need a lot of play time to get good at Super Mario, especially the original, right? But my parents couldn't afford to buy me a Nintendo right away as soon as it came out. Like it seemed outrageously priced, but now you think about the gaming consoles we have now, they're like triple, quadruple the price. I don't even remember what the Nintendo was when my parents finally got me one. I don't know who paid for it, dad or mom, or if they did it together, whatever. But Nintendo fever, man. Ooh, that was a hard time in the late 80s to get your Nintendo, your original Nintendo. And so I wanted to play, and I couldn't play. I didn't own one. And, you know, this 10-year-old me just freaking out. And, oh, my friend Jonathan in Slave Lake, where I went to elementary school, and his family got a Nintendo. Oh boy. The problem is, he has a big family. I don't even remember. He had like 2 older brothers and at least 1 younger brother, and I can't remember if there was 1, 2, or 3 sisters. I can't remember, but there was like, you know, like 5 kids plus me trying to play Nintendo, and we were playing Super Mario, and of course we all had to take turns. Every time Mario died, you had to give it up. Oh my god, I went over to play Nintendo one time with them, and I think I got like 3 turns because Mario died so fast for me, because I I'd never really played it that much before at all, right? So it was just dying to play the game. And when I get that, all I get is that little taste, just that little bit of taste that, like the drug dealer gives you that free sample, like, I was just, man, Nintendo fever. Me and another friend kind of had it at the same time, and it was just like, oh god, we gotta play. And finally got my own Nintendo. I don't even know when this was. It would have been like 88, 89 or something like that. It might have been even 1990, right? And yeah, I played it a lot. My dad even played it a lot. We had Link, the gold cartridge Link game. And it wasn't exactly a Legend of Zelda. When they talk about the game, it's almost like it was just Link's side quest game, because he wasn't trying to save Princess Zelda or anything like that. He was on his own adventure. And the video game music, when you're in the world map, traveling around, walking around, trying to go from place to place, and then you would go into, or you get sucked into a battle, or you would go into wherever you were trying to go, and the map would change. It wasn't the world map anymore. It was the traditional map on the screen from above, right? That looked from above. And no, this one wasn't the look of above. I think there might have been in the towns, but when you got into the dungeon or wherever you were going, it's a side scroll like Mario. And I think this is the only Zelda game that did the side scroll. So you'd be jumping up and down like Mario and stuff and trying to get through. And the music of playing a video game for like, all evening on Friday night and then all day Saturday. And then you try to go to sleep and you could hear the music. You could hear that Link music was always there in the background. If I was in a quiet room by myself, I could hear the music. Let's see if I can.
Get up to 40% select socket.
Let's see if it'll let me play this video. We'll pause our music. I hope you can hear this. I don't know if you can hear this or not. Oh my god. This music. I mean, if it's not playing right now, I just made a quick link. You can scan this barcode and listen to it to yourself. Now, imagine playing this game for like 12 hours and that music. The music's in your head, in your ears the whole time. You just kind of go crazy, right? And I think, I enjoyed that game, but I think my favorite game was the original Final Fantasy. Oh my God. This was a great game. This was an amazing game. Oh, look at this cover. I don't get why it's doing this. Strange. I'll share this. The original cover to the Final Fantasy game. This is Final Fantasy, man. I'll get rid of that link to the past. This was the original Final Fantasy cover. Oh, just look at that. I mean, who doesn't want to play that game? Original Final Fantasy on Nintendo. I mean, I want to get one of those little game box things that has like 500 original games on it. I would sit there and I'd play Final Fantasy. Oh, and it was so hard to start the game. You started off on this little village, and you had this small little landmass that you'd walk around on, and you had to go defeat this bad guy. I think it was some sort of dragon in this old ancient castle, and you had to get strong enough to fight this guy and beat him. And it seemed like it took forever because you'd have to walk around, get in a battle, then you have to go back to town and heal yourself, and then you go back out and walk around, get in a battle, and it just go back and forth until your character was strong enough that you could actually go to the castle. Because if you went to the castle right away, you died really quick because the monsters there were really tough. And there's just no way you could have just beat the game. If you're like level 1 or level 2 or something like that, it just didn't happen. I can't remember what level you needed to be at to be strong enough to beat it, but Final Fantasy, man. This was the game. It was an awesome game. They had maps of the world, and it was just awesome. Now we got lots of Final Fantasy games now, but the original Final Fantasy, it was good stuff. It was good gaming, man. What's that? What the heck? So yeah, there's that town I talked to you about. You have to come into the town. Each one of the little villages you go into was the same town. And the main castle here, that wasn't the castle you were attacking. That was just the town this was the town screen. And where was it? Doesn't even show. I don't have a copy of the castle. the evil castle you had to go to. I can't remember what it looks like even. But yeah, when you were playing the game, this was the interface, man. Like, so you had 4 characters. Look, these 3 characters are dead. You're fighting this lich. But you could choose 4 different types of characters. You could choose all the same characters if you wanted. There was like a black mage, a white mage, a rogue, and a fighter, and I think there was something else. I can't even remember what the different characters were, but they all grew up eventually. Right now, when you played them, they all look like little kids trying to fight these evil monsters. Eventually, once you got your characters to a certain level, they leveled up and the characters just looked really slick. They were like super awesome characters. Final Fantasy, yo. Yeah, they give you maps of castles and maps of the world, I believe. So it took you so long to beat that first castle and become, and it felt like, it felt like a really long time. Because you're forced to increase your character level, and it was such a strange time in the game. Okay, so you finally got to a high enough level, but your characters still look like little kids, and then you finally beat that evil guy at the castle. I can't remember if it was a dragon, maybe it was that lich character, I can't remember, but excuse me. So you beat him, and you're like, da, 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 right? And you go back to town and you fuel up, you go back to the original castle, and I think they're like, now you must journey the rest of the world to save it from the world, or there's some other evil, like, a bridge appears, and you can cross from this island to the mainland. And as you cross the bridge, it's like the opening credits to the game. So you just spent the last week playing this game to try to beat it. And then as you're crossing that bridge, these credits come up, and now the adventurers start their journey. And it was like, holy smokes! The game was like, I don't even know, like 10, 20 times bigger than that first little part. Like, it felt like you were like just playing the game forever. And then it was like, oh, now you finally start the game. And it was like, holy smokes. My sister's watching, and she says, I swear I did not know they had a Nintendo, because it must have only been Sundays I visited. Their mom watched church services, so no one was allowed near the TV. I was friends with Jonathan's older siblings. Yes. I can't remember what days I went over. It was probably after school or Saturdays or something. And it was like the whole family is there, and we're all trying to play freaking video games. And oh man, they fought. It's always funny. Like, I'm just sitting there like, what is going on? And the kids are screaming at each other and yelling. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was like my surrogate big family, I guess. It was growing up. It was just me and Joy, so there was just the 2 of us kids. My little sister didn't come along until I was 15 or something. So it's like, even though I'm the middle child, I'm not really the middle child because we didn't live together all as children growing up in our parents' house, right? So it's kind of a different situation. But seeing 5, 6 kids just just trying to jockey to play that video game, that was something else. That was wild. But yeah, the kicker with Final Fantasy is just like, just when you thought, oh, I might have beat the game, you didn't. You just barely scratched it. Now you take this big adventure all over the whole planet, and it's just massive, and you're building up your characters finally, and you get faster modes of travel, and you get a cool airship, and so you're able to go anywhere on the map now. And I think you even went to the moon. I don't know if the airship could take you or if there was a different type of airship, but there was a stage on the moon, and then you came back, and then you had to travel, like you traveled through time, like 1,000 years into the past to fight the evil that was affecting now. And the evil was in that original castle. Spoiler, sorry. The evil was in that original castle that took you forever to beat at the first stage. But now you're in the past, or maybe you're in the distant future, or maybe both. I can't remember the exact storyline, but you were in a place where that evil castle was like more eviler. Yes, I said more evil. Eviler. But it was a fun game, man. Final Fantasy, the original. Oh, if you didn't play that game, you're missing out, or you're not a true gamer. So I'm gonna shut that down. And I just love the original Nintendo. Now, what really got me, I think, even though I loved the Link game, I love Final Fantasy game, um, Might and Magic 4 was a really great game. I really love that. I didn't get a chance to complete it. I only just barely started it, but it was a good game. And then I got the Super Nintendo. Oh boy. Sim City on Super Nintendo. Right? That was a good game. Super Nintendo. Oh my god. Let's see. Oh yeah. There it is. I'll share the screen again. You can see. You can see what I'm looking at. Oh, there's a correction here. Fine, we'll correct it. Here we go. The original SimCity on Super Nintendo. Why is this weird screen going on? Anyway, let's make it bigger so you can see it. Let's put me bigger too. So SimCity on Super Nintendo, man. Through the early 90s, this was my jam. So get home from school, whatever grade I was in at that time, 6, 7, 8, whatever grade I was in at that time. It was upper elementary, middle school, maybe, lower junior high. This was the game. and it was a game that you just left to play, right? You did your things, and then you built your stuff, and then you waited to see how the city grew so that you could get more tax money. And while you were doing that, you hung out doing your thing, and oh yeah, there's that SimCity guy. And you could be reading a book, you could be doing something else. You could run to the kitchen, go get your snacks, come back to the bedroom, and the game's still playing, right? I would start it up Friday after school, and I would leave it on the whole weekend. I would stay up late playing it, and then I would leave it on while I was sleeping. I wouldn't turn that bad boy off, because when I woke up in the morning, I had all kinds of money so I could build stuff in the morning, right? Because all the tax money came in. And it was a fun game. Oh, why is it doing this weird? Oh my God. Doing this screen image thing. Someone teach me how to do it properly. I don't know why it's not selecting the whole screen and stuff when I want it to. So basically, with any SimCity game and your controls, this is the different things you could build, depending if you had the right level or the right money. That's your population and your money right there. And this was what the people were demanding at the time. The R is residential, the C is commercial, the I is industry. So you would, here's your residential blocks, your zoning. So you would be zoning these blocks this way, and then you would zone your commercial. And this was the shopping centers and the office buildings. And the industrial was your manufacturing and your big smelly factories and stuff like that. And you can see here just off to the side, you can see a power line here. This was probably a coal power plant. And you can see down here, this is a stadium. So when you do the special things for your people, for your city, they're happy. They get happy, right? So you build a stadium because people are sad and upset and bored, right? So it helps stimulate. Squirrel's on the fence line. I need a squirrel second camera where I can switch to it and you can see the squirrel. I had a great image the other day. I looked out the back window of our house and I could see a cat curled up in the middle of our backyard sleeping. This neighborhood cat, this calico, she always comes into our yard and just hangs out. I think she's hunting mice. But she was curled up there in our yard. And then I was able to look over into our neighbor's yard, and there was this bunny rabbit curled up in the middle of their yard. I can see the bunny rabbit every now and again. It goes in there. The neighbors have this great garden. And the bunny rabbit, I think he goes in and steals food. But anyway, SimCity. Yeah, man, you start playing that on Friday, and you just play it till Sunday. Now, I never played it on fast forward because I was always scared about the disasters happening. So I didn't play fast forward to try to get more money within 10 minutes or something like that, because I was always scared the roads were going to decay, Bowser was going to come in and eat my city, a tornado was going to come through, fires. Oh my God, fires all the time. So I didn't do that. Now we got a lot of new SimCities coming out, but I really love that original SimCity. I do have SimCity on my Do I have SimCity? Am I a liar? I don't even know what games I have on my computer right now. Do I have SimCity? I'm just going to peek through my programs here to see what I got. Oh, I got Civilization 5 and Civilization Beyond Earth. And I got chess. Okay. How do I get out of that screen? So, yeah. I played a lot of video games when I was a kid. I used to like going to play arcade games, but of course I never had a lot of money. When I did go play arcade games, me and my buddy Alan maybe had, I don't know, $5 each to go play video games. Back in the day when the play was 25 cents. Where did we go play video games? There was Tag's convenience store that we used to go to, and they always had 2 or 3 video games there. The game Bubble Bubble, you had this aim, and you had to like pop the bubbles, and you aimed whatever. So, but there was also a video store. I was a little bit further. You had to cross the creek in town, and there was it a laundromat? Yeah, no, it was a video game store, and we didn't. It was a movie store, video rental store. Oh my god. Anyways, we'd go in there, there's all the VHS tapes, but there was always at least 2 video games there. And what was that name of that one video game? Golden Axe. The Golden Axe video game that we used to play there. Golden Axe game. Yeah, Golden Axe. What's this was it here. To share the screen so you can see what it was. Golden Axe video game. So you played a couple of characters, so you could play cooperatively or you could play by yourself. And it was just this fighting game like this, and it was kind of like a fantasy theme to it. And think like Conan the Barbarian type game. And we used to play as long as we could. Every time you lost, right, or you died, you could put in more quarters and continue the chapters. The one day we'd set out, we're going to finish the game. We're going to get as far as we possibly can. I think we ran out of money. Obviously, we ran out of money. But we would win a section and then lose the next section, so we'd have to pay, or one of us would die. So in order to help out the other person, we had to put in more money and basically respawn in the game. And oh yeah, we spent a lot of money on that game. Probably at least $20. Now, for kids in the 1980s, $20 was a lot of money. I don't know where we got the money. Allowance, maybe. I don't think we really got an allowance, but anyway. So Golden Axe, and we would try to get through the map. I wonder if there's a map of the world here somewhere. I remember there's that dwarf character. Doesn't show the map. And I think there's newer versions. I think there was newer versions of it. Oh yeah, I see. It's for Sega Genesis and stuff like that. And that was a fun arcade game. And we would solo. I would go to a laundromat in town, and they always had one or two games there too. I felt safer going to the laundromat to play a video game there by myself, but there was an arcade on Main Street, but we never went to it. We always felt it was for older teens or adults. It was dark and dingy, and it felt like a nasty bar. Or I don't know, like it's just a nasty place to be in. There's graffiti and painting everywhere and stickers everywhere, and it just felt dirty. But it was dark, so you could see the video games and the pinball machines and stuff. And I remember not ever playing video games there, as this preteen, 10 to 12 years old, right? I remember walking just through it once because we were going from the back alley, the back street area. Actually, that laundromat was kind of back there in a big parking lot. And you could go in the back and cross through into the front, which was Main Street. And I don't know who I was with. It's probably with my sister. She was probably up to no good. But I went through, and it was just not someplace I wanted to hang out. It was dark, dirty, dingy, and everyone there just looked like a bunch of a-holes. So I never went to play video games there. And I don't know if there was an age limit. Oh, I'm yawning. Sorry. Ask me questions. What's your favorite board game? What's your famous video game? What's your favorite of anything? Games. You want to talk pop culture right now? Let's talk pop culture. I'll stop the screening here. The sharing the screen. So, yeah, spent a lot of time playing video games and growing up. And I think that was a good thing, other than when I was a kid in the 80s. Oh, me and my buddy Alan, man, we rode our bikes all over town. We ruled that town. Or we had our block, and we had to protect our block. It kind of extended our house, Alan's house, and our friend Brianna's house. It was halfway down the block. And then just around the corner, just a little bit, was our friend Rod's house. And that was kind of like our territory. It's half a block, and just around the corner, like 4 or 5 houses, right? That was our block. When you're like 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, whatever, riding your bikes. Yeah, we were cool. We were so cool. No, we weren't cool. We weren't cool at all. I had this little mountain bike at the time. It was kind of gold, but it had the big knobby tires, and it was okay, and it could go on the dirt all right. But Alan, man, he had this orange, like, cruiser bike, and it kind of had this wraparound frame that was like a bike rack where you could store stuff, right? You had enough room, you could like put a box there and strap it on, instead of having a built-in bike rack that you put in afterwards. This was built into the frame, and it was smooth. I remember he had these nice smooth tires, so I'd be riding on my bike, go over to his house, and then we would trade bikes. And he liked riding my bike, and I think he didn't like his bike because I bet you he thought it was like a girl bike because it was orange, but I didn't mind. Oh man, it was smooth. It was a smooth riding bike. I mean, if I got a bike right now, if I can never afford one, I would get one of those cruiser type bikes. It wouldn't be a mountain bike. It wouldn't be a 10 speed. I like to ride my bike upright, and think like the bikes they have in Amsterdam, like a pass-through bike. So the frame, you have the seat and the steering wheel, and then the frame goes way down. And in North America, we might call that a girl's bike. But why do boys' bike have this crossbar where we can jam our nuts into all the time? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't the girls' bike have the bar and the boys have the pass-through section so we're not jamming our nuts all the time? Like, come on. Once upon a time, girls always wore dresses, so they had to have the pass-through bike. No, when I was growing up. So just get a bike, man. So I just love that silly orange bike he had. It was so smooth when you rode. You know when you're driving down the highway and you pass over a section of brand new highway, brand new asphalt. You're rumbling on the regular asphalt that's been there for the last 10, 20 years. Then you hit that smooth, like the whole vehicle just goes quiet. And it's just like, oh, that's exactly what it was like driving on my friend Alan's orange bike. I loved it. Yeah, that was a great bike, man. Yeah, we cruise all over town. And I don't, our parents, where were they? I have no idea. We were off on our own for 12 hours at a time. Right? Like we were all over. And in hindsight, I'm just like, how unsafe was that? And I could see where parents nowadays don't allow kids to go anywhere or do anything without them. But with the advent of social media, we hear everything now. We hear when someone goes missing. We hear when something terrible happens instantly. Once upon a time, you'd hear on the news, or you'd hear the newspaper, which was always in a small town. The newspaper didn't come out every day. It came out weekly or even monthly. So you were always behind on the information. But I always think about that kid that went missing in the early 80s. He was, I think, just 2 years older than me. And he was like kidnapped just from his front yard in the town we lived in. And he's still missing. He was never found. And that's scary. I'm just like, oh my God, that could have been me. That could have been Alan. That could have been my sister. Like it was just unreal. At the time, I don't remember hearing about this kid going missing. But as I became an adult, I started hearing about it, and the family is still looking for him, and they've made these age aggression. I don't even. They aged him to see what he would look like as an adult and stuff like that, right? Hoping that maybe one day they'll find him. But oh yeah, me and Alan just cruising around that town. I only really remember feeling unsafe handful of times, and most of the time, no, never unsafe. I know one time there's this path from the park to our neighborhood, crossing the creek. There was this path, and one time the local drug dealer was parked there with his truck and selling drugs or something. And I was walking home from school, so I wasn't on my bike, so I wasn't quick or anything, but he was parked just off, like it's a paved path. He was parked just off to the side. I don't know if he was trying to hide or whatever, but from that spot, I was basically within eye shot of our house. It was like an open field, and he just had one more curve in the path, and then you'd cross the train tracks, and you'd be right there in front of the high school, and our house was across the road at the time. And like, that felt unsafe. Walking through that arcade when I was a young kid or preteen, that felt unsafe. But other than that, I really didn't feel unsafe cruising around town. There were some neighborhoods I really enjoyed, right? You really enjoy driving through some neighborhoods. We tried to avoid them, the busy streets. We would just cross over or whatever, right? But yeah, oh my God, nostalgia. What's going on here? And we're trying to talk about video games and board games, and now you guys have me talking about my childhood, for crying out loud. So, video games, board games. Let's talk about the travesty, which is the cancellation of the Wheel of Time. I started reading the Wheel of Time books somewhere in the early 90s, somewhere like 92, 93 or something like that. It was right after my dad's second marriage, and I went to Mom's tip money. She always gave us the loose change. Oh, that's how I played video games. My sister just said Mom's tip money. I remember that. When she used to bartend and waitress, she had this the silver money changer. Oh my God. Money changer thing. There it is. That's it. That's it. I'm going to share it. My mom's money changer from the 80s. This is what she wore this on like her apron. What's that called when you cook? Yeah, it's an apron, right? Anyway, she wore one like a server apron with pockets in it to put her book. Well, this was clipped on her, I want to say on her belt, but you see, you put all the change into these, and now this is a US version, but I think it still worked with Canadian coins. But you could press these little buttons here, and it would dispense one coin at a time. So they could give you a dollar bill, and it was 50 cents. So she could press the button twice on the quarter and shoot out 50 cents. I remember this. I never saw her use it, but it was always like on the kitchen table or the coffee table or something. I was a good girl. Yeah, sure, Joy. Anyway, this if you're missing out, is my big sister chatting in the side chat. So You don't need to read that. But I remember seeing this changer all the time, and yes, I remember we were allowed to take the change from it to go do stuff. I bet you my big sister ripped me off and never gave me as much money as she took. She seemed like that type of kid. Just kidding. I love you, Joy. So yeah, that's the money changer we had. But what was I talking about? You got me sidetracked. The tips and the changer. I was talking about driving bikes around town, and I got upset that I'm talking about my childhood instead of talking about games. Games. Oh, there was something. I think I was still being nostalgic about things, I think. So let's stop sharing that screen. You don't need to see that money changer. But it was neat. It was like, so if you had it on your belt or something, you could click those little, they almost look like foot pedals, right? So you click on them and the change would come out. And not feeling safe. I did that. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Feel like I'm rambling now. I did talk about some games. Hey, maybe one day I'll try to live broadcast a game I'm playing. I don't even know how to do that with this setup. Because my computer, when I play a game that's on my computer, it takes over my whole screen. It doesn't let me play in a window. I know I can share a window, but can I share my full screen and still broadcast? Like, I don't know. Will it kill my machine? Will it kill my live stream? I don't know. Maybe we'll try it sometimes. I'll have to test it out. Because I could just click on the game. Let's just click on the game and see what happens. I mean, if it kills the live stream, I guess we're done. If not, then I can play the game. I click the game. It might cut me off. Okay. It's just doing the initial startup. Options. In-app purchases. More games. How can I'm trying to open up Civilization. I'm wondering if it'll allow me to play in a window. Does anyone know how to make a game play in a window? I have no idea. So, go to Google. How to make a game play in a window on a Mac. Let's have a look. Check the game settings for window or borderless window mode, as this is the easiest solution. If it's not available, try keyboard shortcut. Option Enter or Command Enter. Okay. Option Enter or Command Enter. I'm going to try this. This is a good test. I'm going to test this. So I'm trying to open up Civilization 5. It's just like the screen I got right now is this. It is the startup screen. So I'm about to click the play button. I don't know if it's going to cut off this live stream and take over the whole computer. I have no idea, but we'll see. What were the instructions? What did they say? Option Enter. I have a return button. Come on, I said on Windows, on Mac, buddy. Option enter, command enter. Enter. There's no enter on a Mac. Option return or command return. Okay, I'm going to test it. If we shut down, I might not reconnect. We'll see. Okay, I'm clicking play. Turn. Neither of those things are working. So I have no idea. Might be just a startup. I don't know if we're still broadcasting right now. It's saying loading the game. It's taken over my whole screen. I do see a green light indicating that my camera's still on. But click to continue. Let's see if I got options here. Video options. I can switch it from oh 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 okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if I can share it. Share window. Accept. Single player. Are you able to see it? Are you seeing it? Can you hear it? Now, when I switch over to my screen, I didn't turn on the background music. Oh my God. Such a boring live stream. So I switched over. What's it better? No, not that. Not that. Not that. Not that. Not that. Can I do this? That's not really good either. But it seems to be allowing me to play in the window. I just don't know if you guys are hearing the sound. I can shrink down that window a little bit so I can see more of my screen. The sound goes away when I move off the screen to go look at something. I don't know if you're getting sound. Might be getting sound. You might not be getting sound. Anyway, that was a good test. Maybe I could play a game sometime. Start now. I love playing Pocatello of the Shoshone. Begin your journey. So it's giving me a weird, like I think the game is like having a breakdown. Okay, it doesn't want to work. It's gone all crazy and easy. Okay, I'll move away for a second. See that? Oh my God. So it goes into gaming mode and wants to give all the resources to the game, But then now it's not letting me play the game. I shrunk the screen a little bit, and then that little rainbow thing showed up. You can see that it appears here. I'm looking at my browser screen right now, and when I click over, I wonder if it just doesn't like my big face, maybe. No, it's still doing the thing. Move it around. Won't let me do anything when I'm in that window. Wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. Fail, maybe? Civilization not responding. I got Google. Hold on. Let's shut this down. So Google's taking up a whole bunch of resources on my computer, and Restream.io is taking up a bunch of resources on my computer. What else is taking up resources? Oops, excuse me. Safari web content cached. Oh, that I don't know what that's doing. But there's big strain on the computer right now. It's not liking it. So I don't know if this live stream is even working anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quit the civilization, and it didn't quit. So I'm going to force quit it. It force quit it. Oh my God, that was rough. That was rough. The computer didn't enjoy that. You know, right now my CPU is being used up like 80, 73. It was just doing 80 just for Restream.io. Like, it's taking up most of my resources. And the other part is coming from the Safari graphics and media. So, woo, little computer is having trouble. So we will, maybe I won't be doing that. Maybe I won't be streaming because my computer's just not tough enough. It's a laptop. I'm using a laptop, but it is a Mac laptop, and it was top of the line when we bought it. I made sure I got the best processor, and I got the most RAM I could get. I think the hard drive, I could have went a higher hard drive, but I didn't. That's fine. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. I mean, that's the way you live stream. So I'm not going to take any more questions. To heck with you guys. No questions. No questions anymore. If you want to see any of my links for the things I do, right? I'm an HR consultant. I'm an Indigenous Relations consultant. During the week, earlier in the week, we talk more serious topics. On Mondays, we talk about HR. On Tuesdays, we talk about Indigenous Relations and allyship. On Wednesday, we talk about side gigs and side hustles, aka online marketing. And Thursdays, we talk, it's career club, so we talk about resumes and cover letters and interview prep and career advancement, all that cool stuff to do with advancing your career or getting a job. And Friday, of course, anything and everything. Friday is fun and games. So, I mean, if you have a business that's related to any of these topics in any way, shape, or form, like really, I could get you on Mondays, any business, and we can talk about your HR and give a shout out to your business. On Tuesday, if your organization is working on reconciliation, Tuesdays would be a good day for you. Sorry, I suddenly have something in my throat. And if you got a gig or side hustle or a small business you're trying to get going, well, you can come on the show on Wednesdays and we can chat. If you're a job hunter or if you're a recruiter or even another HR professional for that matter, you could come on my show on Thursdays and we can talk about the people you need to hire at your business or as a recruiter, the things you do to help people find a job. Sorry, I think I finally got that thing out. And on Friday, oh my God, if you are a game store owner, any sort of games, come on the show. We can chat it up on days like Fridays. Board game store or specialty collector's shop, card game store. I mean, we're not going to sit here and play canasta. Maybe we will. I don't know. How would that work? Online canasta. So, yeah, all my favorite links are up in there. And it's Friday. We talk about games and stuff. So I want to put up this Magic the Gathering link. Oh, yeah, if you're looking for cards, I got some cards here. I didn't talk about Magic. I got all these booster packs I have to open up. I got all the most current booster packs. There's 14 cards. This one only has 12 cards in each booster pack. In my booster pack of Bloomborough, look at those guys. Look at that cute little mouse guy. All the characters in Bloomborough are like little mice, little creatures doing fun things. In that booster pack, I found this card. Kitsa Otterball Elite. They're selling this for $8.99 Canadian right now. So I'm saving that for my next Whatnot live show, and I'm going to sell it. I think I'm going to start the auction at $5 for that card. At $5, it's not even going to pay for the amount I put onto that booster pack. All my booster packs were somewhere from like $6.99 to $9.99 or something like that, and I bought like 10 of them or something. And so I'm not going to find a card that's good enough for me to make my money back. If you want to play Dungeons and Dragons, we didn't talk Dungeons and Dragons today because I've been talking about Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering a lot. So I tried to keep it different today. We talked about board games and we talked about video games, especially from the 80s. I was being all nostalgic. Sorry, I bored the crap out of everybody. But if you need a Dungeons and Dragons player's handbook with the newest rules, the 2024 rules, get this book, scan this code, go get the book so you can start playing with the new rules. And there's something I wanted to share. Of course, my sister's always lurking in the background on my shows. I really appreciate it. And I think sometimes my mom's lurking in the background on the shows too. Big fan base. Unbound Creations is my sister's side business, Indigenous arts and crafts, and my mother's contributes to that also. She's a beater and moccasin maker, traditional stuff. Ooh, boy, and there's a fire truck going by. And you'll also find these links in all my links thingy. And that goes to my link tree. If you're scanning that up in the top corner, that's a QR code to my link tree, which is right here. And and yeah, And I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna shut this down because we're 1 hour and 45 minutes on a Friday. Got nothing else to talk about. Nobody's asked any great questions. Just my sister and her creepy comments. No, I'm just kidding. I joke. If you get to know me, I only joke with people that I love, mostly. Um, so you can imagine the crap my wife has to go through. What? Jokey. Yeah, I'm gonna end this live stream now. Live stream. All right. Live stream podcast. Thank you. I'm Ian Hopfe. I go by the hashtag IanTheHRPro. No sound. What do you mean no sound? You mean the video game? It was probably the video game. Takes a while for comments to come to me. It's like a couple minutes or something like that. So I'll have to test it sometime more. But it really kind of took over the computer because the Restream.io was working, and then all the streaming. I got another window open for the Instagram stream, and it's still. I look at the Instagram stream, and it was still just doing my test with the. I can hear you, but not the game. Boring. That's no fun. I don't know how that works. I know the music went off somewhere in the show. The music might have went off when I was trying to play videos, and I forgot to turn it back on. Sorry. Boring show. Technical problems. Oh well. It's my show, not yours. Deal with it. So yeah. Alright. I'm going to let you go. Bye everyone. I'm ending this show.